think a lot of people are trying to bulk. They're trying to get a little bigger, and they do a couple things that maybe aren't in their best interest. So
anyway, you got some questions.
Let's get it.
I think I shouldn't butcher. Well, I butchered that.
Butcher.
Shaki.
Shaki.
SCHAACKII.
Shaki.
How do I know as a beginner how many calories I need to go on a bulk?
You want me to take you? You take me?
yeah, why don't you start?
I'll start. I've talked about this before. We really need to make our own calculator online so people can just go to it.
It just says plus minus 10%.
Plus minus 10%. Shaki, my friend, you're a beginner. So I would honestly say that go and find, and for everybody, this is a pretty good resource if you're someone who wants to start doing some tracking. We've had John Berardi on the podcast. He's the founder of Precision Nutrition. I'd say it slowly. You say it too fast, you fuck it up. But the Precision Nutrition calculator on the internet, look it up. Precision Nutrition calculator is a great online calculator that you can plug in your stats, how much you weigh, your body fat, your activity level, all that type of stuff. And it'll give you around where your maintenance caloric intake is. And then it'll also give you some ideas of where you might want to place your calories if you're going to go on a bulk. Generally, I think that if you're a beginner, just stick at maintenance, right? Stick at maintenance. You don't need to worry about being in a big surplus because you will grow once you start working out and eating at maintenance. But generally, you can put yourself just like in a deficit. We usually say 10 to 20% deficit. Go to a 10 to 20% surplus and start from there. But don't go too hard on the surplus, homie, because you could put on some excess body fat that you don't want.
I think a lot of people are trying to bulk. They're trying to get a little bigger, and they do a couple things that maybe aren't in their best interest. So number one is sometimes they eat some junk food, and they kind of eat junky or not the best options like during the day. And that takes up space for more calories, and that's not really what you want to do. So obviously you can eat a ton of calories by eating some junk food, but I think most people, they're not on a mission to just gain body fat.
Yeah.
And so I would look into something like the vertical diet, where
Yes.
you have a nice healthy food list, and the food list that Stand Efforting recommends are all things that digest pretty easy. They're things that your body can assimilate really well, as opposed to, eating something that's going to really kind of sit in your stomach for too long and you can't get to that next meal.
Hey guys, have you ever been working out and you found that you got like a calf cramp or a hamstring cramp or a quad cramp or a bicep cramp? Unnecessary, and you're probably dehydrated, and it's not just water you're missing. You're missing electrolytes, and that's why we've partnered up with Element Electrolytes, which has the perfect amount of sodium, magnesium, potassium to prepare you for your workout so you'll never cramp up again. Andrew, can you tell the people how to get it?
Head over to drinklmnt.com/powerproject. Load up on a value bundle because you're going to get 4 boxes for the price of 3. Again, that's at drinklmnt.com/powerproject. No code needed. Just head over there right now.
The other thing that people do is I think they kind of just don't have a good estimate of how much food they're eating. And so therefore tracking or keeping just some sort of accountability, even if you just kept track simply of how many meals you ate in a day, that would be a great start. And you might not even have to actually pay attention to a lot of the calories. You might be able to look at the scale. You might be able to look at yourself in the mirror and kind of see how you're gaining. There's nothing wrong with measuring the calories if you want to take that extra step. But it's really rare for people to commit to 5-6 meals a day, every day for a long period of time. Let's say make sure that your protein is at like about 1 gram per pound of body weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would kind of mess around with your carbohydrate intake and play around with that. It could be about 1 gram per pound of body weight as well. And you can even work your way towards double that in a bulk. And then your fat grams would probably be about half your body weight. So if you weighed 200 pounds, it might be about 100 grams of fat, and you can kind of toy with that. But for most people, even 100 grams of fat could be just for nearly just about anybody, unless you're a lot smaller. But definitely not going below like 70 or 75 grams of fat, because that can kind of mess with your hormones.
Let me also mention this. What Mark said, like especially anyone who's beginning the whole diet thing, the before even tracking, one of the biggest important things is just to have good food habits. Learn how to not drink excess calories. See, the baby talk is coming, my friends. Learn how to not eat excess calories from liquids. Learn how to not be snacking so much during the day, which is something that a lot of people don't track their snacks, excess calories. Learn how to focus on eating whole foods. You'll have some processed foods here and there. You'll have some snacks here and there, but a majority of your calories should be from food, because the intention of tracking right now is to, at some point in your future, never have to track again. You want to learn about food. You want to learn what's in rice, sweet potatoes, all these different foods and the amounts, so that when you get to a certain level, you can bulk without having to track super hard. You can cut without actually even having to track, because you have some knowledge and understanding of how to actually eat. Keep that in mind.
And I think if you are going to snack, maybe you can work on just repositioning your food. So like if you dig something like Cheez-Its or animal crackers or something like that, if you're into some of these foods and you feel, really hooked to them, obviously the number one thing is to work on working them out of your diet. But if you still wanted to keep them in your diet and you're in a bulk, I think you could do so in a reasonable way. And it could be after your meal. I think it's more important that you make sure you get in the macros that you need. You got everything that you need. And if you still kind of got the munchies for something that's different than your normal food, then afterwards might be a good choice.
Check out Legendary Foods.
Legendary
Foods. Check them out. They got some good stuff.
Tasty pastry.
Tasty pastry.